Morning Discord, morning YouTube. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's see what we got. Let me make sure the audio is going good. Okay. So for today, let's get a little recap. We just had Thanksgiving yesterday, American holiday. In the pre-market this morning, not a lot of movement, a lot of sideways action. Stuck in this range right here. So today I'm not expecting a lot of movement today. Oh, is it not streaming? Give me a second. Is it going? Sorry about that. I could have swore I hit stream. Let me see if is it going now? On Discord? Okay, yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so for today, I'm not expecting a lot of movement, right? I'm not expecting a lot of movement. Good day to paper trade. Good day to paper trade. Now, you know, that's just my personal bias. Yesterday, last session, I was completely wrong about my personal bias, right? So let's not have a bias. I'm not expecting a lot of movement today. So if you're gonna take trades, get in and get out. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we're gonna let 1 or 2 cycles go by. I'll be around. Give me one moment. I'm gonna put in some work right now. So I'm expecting one of 2 things. Movement in the morning and then it fizzles out in the afternoon, or zero movement in the morning and it makes the move late in the day. But I'm not expecting a lot of movement today, period. So we'll see. We'll practice our algos today. I don't know if today's gonna be the trading day, you know? Today may not be the trading day. It might be a research and development day. Let's check higher time frame. So on the 1 minute, we're below the water, but starting our bull cycle. On the 5 minute, we are below the water, still in our bear cycle. On the 30 minute, actually the 5, okay, here's something interesting. The 5's about to cross the 30, right? So we can look at these moving averages kind of like our price, and you know, just like the indicators, right? Just like any other indicator, it's testing the indicator, right? So let's see where we are. Where is it? Oh, it's way below. Not bad. Hold up, watch. Okay, so the 5 is below. So we want to see now if the 5, watch this. Discord, you guys watching? All right, watch. So if this is the 20, all right, let's say, hold on, messed up. Let's say this is the 20 right here. We want to see if the 5 is going to either reject off of the 20, or if the 5 is going to break, retest, and reject off the 20. Okay, so we can use this VRR using the 20, or using it in the moving averages. Okay, so don't say I never did nothing for you now. I just gave away some sauce. There goes the sauce that no one ever teaches. So look, which this is also in one of our lessons. I'd have to go back and look to see which one, but you can see how the 5 is testing the 20. So essentially we're going to use price as our, we're going to use the 5 as our price and the 20 as our average. So if our moving average is here and our 5 is the price, we want to look for either a rejection of the 20 or a break, retest, and reject of the 20. Okay? So let's see if that happens. Cranberry sauce, good one. Yeah. I hope everyone had a good holiday. But it's back to work. It's back to work for us. We're gonna let a couple cycles go by, maybe paper trade to see if we can scalp a couple dollars today. We're gonna get in and get out. We're not gonna overstay our welcome. It's gonna be slow price action, so I recommend paper trading. Back to twerk. All right, so it looks like this magenta is holding up. All right, so they're building some liquidity inside magenta. All right, y'all see the liquidity? See the liquidity building up? So then now we got to ask ourselves, all right, here. I'm going to mute YouTube really quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Let's see what we got. Yeah, so this magenta is holding up firm, right? Perfectly off the magenta. Today actually might be easy. It looks like so far they're respecting the algos. So let's see how far we can get away with this. So far they are respecting the algos. We'll wait a few more minutes. It might be easy today. Doesn't mean the price is gonna run forever, but you know, in a certain direction. But I think they're respecting the algos today. Okay, so that liquidity on magenta, we're gonna see how much it's gonna get for us, right? So I think we like this magenta right now. This is our test, right? This is our test of our micro. So we still want to look for our macro. So far they're respecting the algos, right? Everything's being respected. Now we're gonna let a couple cycles go by so we know when to attack, right? We're gonna learn to not predict, but we're gonna try to get ahead of the algorithm. You'll see. You will see. Didn't expect them to respect it this early, but they're doing it, so. Okay, so we like magenta for our micro. So if you didn't take this magenta, that's completely understandable, right? It's still within our time frame. We usually like to wait at least 15 minutes. So completely understandable if you didn't take this magenta. Also, we didn't get a chance to test anything. So now that we got a chance to at least test something, now we have something to work off of, right? This is why we wait for data. This is why it's important that we wait for data and that we don't rush. If we're just patient, the market's going to reveal itself, like I always say. So we identified one, right? Now we're working on, you'll see, takes time. Give me a minute. So far this morning, they're respecting the algo. So, as of now, we're in purple until we're not in purple. As of now, we're in purple until we're not in purple. Technically purple right now. So if you're trading with me, the signals that I give are going to be on the break of our trend lines here, right? So if that's our break, this is going to be a confidence level 1. You'll know confidence levels because you'll see the thickness of the line change. Okay, this is confidence level 2. This is confidence level 3. This is the highest confidence in a trade. Doesn't mean it's always going to work. It just means that's where my confidence level is. So for as of right now, this purple has to be a confidence level 1 because we're still inside the morning range and we haven't tested purple yet. So we're still in, this is, if this is going to hit, we don't know yet. This is going to be confidence level 1. Same thing with this magenta. This is confidence level 1 on the puts here, right? So if the trend is going up, the opposite of the trend would be puts, right? So when the trend breaks is going to be the opposite buy, obviously. I'm just giving you an explanation of how the system works. So I think we're good with magenta. We just need to get another confirmation. We're gonna see if purple is gonna be the up for today. So let's just be patient. Remember, the orange has all the strength. The orange line has all the strength, right? So if the orange line is like, hold on, let me make sure everyone's paying attention. All right, watch, listen. I'm gonna go on mute really quick. This is just for Discord. All right, look, now I hit the wrong button. I don't even know my own damn buttons. Hold on. Nope, don't want to do that. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. So now we're just going to be patient. Look at our 5 minute. On our 5 minute, we see that we're in this liquidity box still. So I'm just going to extend it over so you can see it. We're still in this liquidity box. So if you really want to be extra cautious, wait for that box to break one side or the other. So look, we're in purple until we're not. Okay? So our call scenario is going to be above 82.28 with a break and retest. This is going to be our calls with a break and retest. You have to wait for the retest because the break could just be the liquidity grab for the stop hunt. So wait for the retest. And let's say it goes to green and shoots off without you, then oh well. Then you missed the trade. Oh well. There's another one around the corner. Now if you take the trade and you got two options. Either you stop yourself out or you put your stop very tight, or you allow the break and retest. Those are the options. Do you see what I'm saying? You can't overstay your welcome. How we're just going sideways. This is what I mean. If you're going to trade today, while you're inside the range, you have to immediately protect your trade. Immediately. And that's just what it is, right? We have to recognize market conditions. Not every day is going to be, you know, every trade's going to... Hold on. Hold on, let me pay attention really quick. I'll be right back. Volume's dying off. Listen, while we're still in this range on the 5 minute, you got to be careful. You got to be careful in this range, right? We know the market doesn't want to move a lot. You got to get in and get out. We're completely sideways, right? We already expected this, so good day to test our skill. Perfect day to test our skill. Unless something like one of these scenarios happen, you got to stay away. If you're okay with, listen, if you're trading inside of here, you're okay with the price. This is called liquidity, right? How do I know this? Because I've already identified it, right? These gray shadow boxes, these are our lick boxes, liquidity boxes. I've already identified the liquidity box. We're currently in it. So if you're trading in here, you're okay with the price. You're okay with the price. Now, if the price goes above here, then you, along with other people, believe that there's probably momentum pushing it up. If you go in on puts below this red, then you probably believe there's momentum pushing it down, right? So this is just basic probabilities. We're just completely sideways. There's nothing to do here. What we do know is that we're above the water. Volume is going very slow. We have to be able to identify these environments, these conditions, to know, you know, what our trading is going to be like. The thin green and red ranger, that's your primary liquidity. The thick red and green ranger, that's your secondary liquidity. This is going to be your stop hunt liquidity, right? So if it breaks this one, this is going to be where they're going to want to stop hunt you. So let's wait for a break and retest above 82.28. That's the answer. If you're trading in here, you're okay with the price. You're okay with buying and selling right in here, somewhere in here. Now, if you're waiting for momentum to see which way the market's going to go, you're going to wait for a break and retest above or below one of these levels. That's the answer. We're going to be able to identify the sniper entry, but only when that happens. As of now, what we do have, the conditions we do have, is that we broke our purple liquidity, and we're above the water. So if this is going to be a fake out, we'll soon find out. We'll know when we get below this red line here. If this break of purple is going to be a bust, we'll most likely know that this play is no longer going to play out in the call scenario when we get below this red. Remember, it's all based off probabilities, right? So now you just got to wait to see what happens. You have your thesis, you take your trade, and you allow it to play out instead of chasing and moving your stops. This is where you need the discipline to allow it to play out, right? So in normal market conditions, what we would have done, let me make sure everyone on Discord is paying attention. What we would have done in normal market conditions, right? If there wasn't like a holiday, we would look for, hopefully, this purple line being either highlighted a 2 or a 3. Something like this. This would give us our confidence level. Once this is highlighted, let's say we get a 3. Our entry would be on the break of the purple for calls. So maybe on this candle here, if you could time it, or this candle here for the confirmation. So maybe the 1048, or excuse me, the 948 candle or the 949 candle. You'd buy call here, somewhere over here. You'd put your stop below the last low. And then you let the play out. If it goes below red, you'd get stopped out and you'd wait for the next setup. That's how it should work. Ideally, in normal market conditions. But now you see what we have going on. We're actually going sideways. We're literally just sideways. So normal market conditions, you know how it's supposed to work now. And then here, look. And then let's say you get stopped out here, right? On this red, then you're gonna wait for your next setup. So if you get stopped out on red, then maybe we have momentum going to the downside. So then we'd wait for our setup underneath the red. We'd wait for our magenta to form underneath the red, right? Something like that. So now you know what the process is. It's very simple, and it's hard to be wrong twice in a row. Very simple, hard to be wrong twice in a row. So if you're trading in here, you're okay with the price. We've identified the liquidity. If you're inside this liquidity box and you're trading inside of it, you're okay with the price. That means you and everyone else agreed to buy and sell right here. So don't cry when the trade goes against you if you're trading in here. Don't cry about it. Wait for the momentum. The market will tell us. We just need to wait for the momentum. And also, we shouldn't be so antsy to jump in a trade today because we already knew what today was going to be like, right? This is just research and development. This is what we're doing today. This is the perfect time for the new members to test the strategy, right? So we're going to go over it. You took your call here. You held through I call it embrace the retrace, right? So you took your call. The price retraced a bit. You embrace the retrace, and then you reposition yourself. right? Because you're going to have a better idea of what's going on. Because if your retrace goes below your red, you know you're out of the play. Now, look, you get another bite at the apple. So if you were to stop yourself out, for what? Why? Because the strategy is you take your call, you hold for the retracement, or you take your call and you chase it. Those are the two options, right? So let's see what we got. For the new members, you see how it works now. It just happened right in front of your face. It's really hard to be wrong twice. I mean, this one technically wouldn't have been wrong. If you would have held right now, even if you would have got the worst fill, you'd be in profit. Even if you got the worst possible fill on the break of this purple, you'd be in profit right now. You can at least you take no loss, right? You can't lose from here, so you just let it run. But this is not a norm. This is normally, the price action would probably be moving a little bit different. We'd get some more motion, but now you know how the setup works, right? So the break of purple, you embrace the retrace, and then, once you're in profit, then you start moving your stop so you can't lose. Very simple. Now, normally, we'd like to see the price do what price normally does, not just go sideways, but now you know what the setup is, right? To the new people. And look, you're still above the water, right? You're still above the water. So this is what I'm saying. Now is a perfect day to figure out our exit strategy. Figure out which one you want to use. Do you want to chase it? You have to understand market conditions. Is this a market condition where we're chasing it? Are we inside of a range? If you're in the range, you need to chase your trade. Now, if you get outside this range, maybe you let it run a little bit, right? Maybe you can let it run just a bit. But while you're in the range, you got to chase your money. Unless you know something I don't. So look how much time you'd have given yourself to assess this play. If you'd have just taken yourself out immediately, this is when you just start destroying your account. When you wait 1 or 2 minutes and then you get in and get out, that's when you start whittling away slowly, $10 at a time, whittling away your account. Just wait a little bit, you can reassess. Remember, they don't always have to work. We just need to get a win rate that's conducive to positive P&L. Okay, yep, slow moving. I'm gonna set alerts. I'm gonna set alerts on green right here to give me a warning. I recommend you do the same. Set alerts. Set alerts. Another thing. I'm gonna mute. I'm just gonna be in Discord really quick. Okay, I'm back. And look, again, technically we'd still be in this play, right? If you took the break of purple, your stop below your last low, or you could have even used this last low if you wanted to be a little more conservative. The last low on the 946 candle, you'd still be in the play, right? This is the strategy. If you're gonna let one or two red candles scare you out, then it's never gonna work. You have to allow the thing to happen, or else you'll never know, right? Like, let's say we would have got out on one of these red candles and we didn't follow the strategy, we would have, you know, we've sealed our fate in the loss. You've already sealed your fate in the loss, and then you didn't even stick to the strategy, and that's when you start feeling that like kind of regret, or that, you know, some type of FOMO-ish, like, man, I wish I would have done that, or I knew I should have done that. It always happens. And then the more you woulda, coulda, shoulda, the more your emotional state, your mental state gets messed up. So you'll realize once you start trading like a robot, it gets way easier. Everything gets easier. It'll be more business. It'll just be business, right? You're not going to take it personal. It's not going to be like, oh, I didn't get this trade right, because it makes us feel bad, like, as a person. It makes you feel not intelligent or stupid, or you got taken advantage, whatever it is, right? And those feelings, they lead to a lot of negative habits in day trading, as opposed to, or trading period, as opposed to staying with your strategy and letting whatever's going to happen, right? So if you took this play and you went down to here, maybe that's, I don't know, a 20-30% drawdown on your play, depending on your delta. You got to be okay with that, right? You got to be okay with, I took this play, now I'm going to let it play out, or else there's no way you'd ever know. Look how many times you would have had another bite at the apple to at least either break even or not take so big of a loss. If you would have taken this red, you would have just been out, right? You would have just been out if you didn't follow the strategy. But at least following the strategy, you have a better shot. It's probabilities. It's probabilities. I'm actually kind of glad today played out the way it did as far as the Discord goes, because it gives us a chance to see the strategy happen without any pressure, right? There's no pressure to perform today. We can actually just look at the data and get an objective response to the questions we have as far as this strategy goes, or the questions you may have. How should I have played it? What should I have done better? Did I follow all the rules, right? So look, as of now, we're still in this play. We can't, because our structure didn't break. So we still have to be in the play. If you're chasing single candles, it's going to be very hard, right? You have to know what your strategy is. Are you scalping? Are you willing to take, you know, you're going in heavy and you're going to take trades really heavy, and you're scalping, and you're gonna get in, get out, get your money, fine. But know your strategy, and don't try to get mad and change. You know, when you, let's say you're going counter trend, right? We got an uptrend and you buy a put because you think it's the top. Don't get mad when it goes against you if you didn't follow the rules, right? Because there's rules. Don't fight the trend. If you fight the trend, then you got to chase it. Look, we're still above the water, right? We're still, this is what I'm saying all the times that I'm telling you, look, we're above the water. We never went below the water. No reason to leave the trade. This is that time. This is that time where you had another opportunity to either stop short, to either stop the bleeding, or to start protecting your trade. I'm glad we had all this time to sit here and allow this to sit here and burn, so you can see that it's not so bad. you know, we're taking our risk. We have to be okay with the risk we're taking. We have to be okay with the $50, whatever stop loss you put. You just got to be okay with it. Because here's the reason why. Because we have the data to know that it's better to follow the strategy than not. We already have the data. So the thing that's stopping us is us. It's the fear. And once you get over that, once you stick to a strategy, that's when you will become consistent. It doesn't mean you're gonna get the most profitable, you know, it doesn't mean you can't get better profits, meaning hold longer, better entries, but at least you're gonna be consistent, sticking to a strategy. Now look, if we're late in the day, I need Discord to pay attention to this too. If we're late in the day and you see price doing this stuff right here, just literally sideways, you got to take into account theta, because even though, let's say, the price is slowly incrementally going in the direction you thought it was going to go, theta is going to start eating away the contract. So even though you technically, it looks like you should be in profit, if it's late in the day, theta is going to start eating away the contract. So you're going to have to make decisions. Okay? This is dynamic. This is your business. So you have to treat it as such. I'm glad we had this day today. Look, showing you following the strategy is your best bet. Look, our stop never got tested, and now you're in profit. Okay. Okay. So let's see if this is going to be a 30-cent move from the break of purple. Is we're going to say 81.23. It went up to about 81.80. I think we're closing in around 30-cent mark. So a win for me, because we have to have some type of criteria to identify if a trade is profitable or not. I think 30-cent move. So let's say it goes from 83 to 83.30. That 30 cents, you know, I'd have to consider it a win, because I think that's enough movement for any trader to adjust their stops accordingly, to either stop out short for small loss to break even, or to adjust your stops to chase your trades. So look, here we go. Following the strategy. If you didn't panic, right? You take the break of purple. Now we got our winner. You just had to wait all this time for the liquidity to break. We never went below the water. You see how we stayed above the water? No reason to leave the trade. Now my alerts went off. Do you see how the strategy works? If you're new in the Discord, it just happened right in front of your face. It just happened right in front of your face. This is why we stick to the strategy. It's our best option, because I've already done all the research. You don't have to think. Stop being nervous about trades. Follow the strategy. You have to be a robot. You have to be. The emotions are gonna hold you back. There, look, there's our first win. The break of purple, right? It couldn't have went any better. I'm glad we went through this, through all this, so I could explain to you, look, we're above the water. Look, our stops haven't even been tested yet. If you've actually followed, now ask yourself, on all the other trades we've taken, did you do exactly what I just did right here? I'm not telling you it's going to work every single time. What I am telling you is that look at the money we just printed. right? That's what I am telling you. Look at the money we just printed. And it took patience. And it took following the strategy. Look, if you're new in the Discord, it just happened right in front of your face. We went through the rocky, the tough time, the shaky time. There's no fear here because we know what the next setup is if this call didn't work out. Right? We knew the next setup was under here. Very easy. It's very simple. It's very simple. And you don't have to do it by yourself. We're going to do it together. I'm so glad this just happened. Everything went perfect. Everything went perfect. Right? Exactly to our key level. From the break to our key level. We go level by level. Now to me, this is an excellent trade. Why? Everything went the way it should have. If you were to take the break of purple, you put your stop below the last low, and then you let your winner win. Right? It's just that simple. When has it not been like that? You tell me when it's not been like that. Now, I know when we're in that trade and we open up that wallet, everything in your heart and your emotions thrown out the window. I get it. Especially like, let's say you would have taken purple and then you saw this candle on 0952. Listen, I get it. You're thinking, oh no, what did I just do? I get it. Trust me, I understand. And I know you're hearing me, just a random voice on the internet, but I mean, at some point you gotta realize, like, man, this random voice on the internet, this guy, he's got a pretty good win rate. This random ass voice that told us exactly what to do, and you know, over 90% of the time, this guy's right. Maybe, how about this? If you're interested in learning how to trade, send me an email, LiveSPYTrading@gmail.com. I'll get you sorted out. We do it every day. Even in slow moving days like today, I just want everyone to see how we can still make sustainable. It doesn't have to be, 10, 20 point moves every single day. We just have to identify the risks and not overstay our welcome. That's it. And be patient. Look how the patience paid off for us. All right, we're working on one full point. We're working on one full point from the entry. We walked through it together. Candle by candle, we walked through this, and I told you, listen, we're above the water. There's no reason to leave the trade. Now do you see it happening? Because I know I always say it after the fact, right? I say it after the fact. Now I'm telling you in real time. You see it happening in real time. Right? We knew what was going to happen before it happened. And it's not because I knew the future. It's because I knew that if this thing happens, then this other thing, based on a balance of probabilities, should happen. I don't know the future, but I know if this thing happens, then I know what's most likely to happen. Doesn't mean I need to be right every time. Look at the money we just printed on the break of purple. We just walked through it together. Now look, there's nothing more I can do, right? And I know we get frustrated. Perfect, right? So look, if you took this green, you got to protect your trade now, right? Here's a green ranger. This is a winner. If you're on YouTube and you took green ranger, you're welcome. You're welcome. Join the Discord. We already knew what to do. Look at our 5-minute chart. Our 5-minute chart told us once this liquidity broke, what to do. Which just so happened to line up with our green. Come on now. Now look, don't overstay your welcome. This is why we want to wait for the range to break, a break, retest, reject. You see the liquidity that they're building up now at this level. This is not an accident. So you don't overstay your welcome, you take your money, and this is how you become consistent. You stick to the strategy. You figure out what your strategy is. Is it going to be key level? Is it going to be when the legs cross? Is it going to be? You need to figure it out. I give you options in less than 7 or 8, something like that. All right, now if this is going to draw down, or this is going to retrace a bit, if it's going to retrace, if they want to grab liquidity somewhere, if it gets below this level here, 81.38, you start to think the other way. Again, calls are going to be on your safety call. Look, this is the number 2, right? So our safety calls are going to be on the break, retest, and reject. If you're waiting for that, then wait. Do you now see why I said originally that this one was a number 1? Because while we're inside the range, it's risky. This one has to be a 1 because we're in the range. But the thesis is still the same. If we break our liquidity, then we just go to the next level. Nothing's changed. So look, we knew there was going to be liquidity here. We expected there was going to be a retrace here. We already knew this, right? This is very simple. Very simple. This isn't parlor tricks. This is just experience. And eventually in time, you're going to be able to do this too. You're going to be able to call every leg of the... It's just going to be... And you may not get it right 100% of the time, but you'll be able to do it enough to feel confident in taking trades. It just takes time. It just takes time, because I'm not selling you a get-rich-quick scheme. That's not why we're here. We're here to learn a skill that you can take forever into the world. I'm glad we took today. Today is a nice, slow, easy day. We only had 2 algos today. That's... Yeah. I knew today was going to be odd. Today's a weird day. Now remember, if we get below this level here, start to think the other way. Oh, Pink Ranger hasn't even really... They're okay, yeah, they're right on the brink of Pink Ranger. Let's go check on our... Okay, do we see what's happening here? It looks like they're kind of just tagging back and forth. I don't really see a firm break, retest, reject. Maybe right here. Maybe right here, but it's not like convincing, right? If it was any other day, then maybe, but because of the environment for today, the holidays, it's the way it is. So I'm gonna wait for my next alert to go off. Oh wait, I didn't set it. Let me set an alert. So I put an alert on green, so I'm not sitting here just waiting all day. And this is what you guys need to... I'm sitting here at the computer because this is why I'm here. But for you all, you don't have to sit here and wait by the computer. Put an alert. You'll know the momentum when your alert goes off. Also, this is gonna help you with not stressing so hard about just sitting here focusing minute by minute, second by second on candles and, oh, this is a green one, this is a red one, that's a wick, that's not a wick. You need to step away. You need to zoom out. You need to zoom out. Do you understand now why I put this thick green line here? This is the liquidity here. This thick green line is the liquidity. That's why I put it here. You see the rejection? Here's a recap. Since this morning, if you're trading inside of this box, you're okay with the price. You're okay with the price in here. You see it? I even extended the liquidity box over for you because the environment that we're in today. You got to recognize the environment you're in. Not every day is a trading day. Like we can't be that greedy that we feel the need to constantly be in a trade. All right, Discord, pay attention to your 5 minute. All right, look, we're in blue until we're not in blue. That's the answer. We're in blue until we're not. Which is purple on our 5 minute. If you're on YouTube, you gotta join the Discord. Send me an email, LiveSPYTrading@gmail.com. Get you sorted out. I'm gonna put another alert here. Actually, I want to extend this. All right, look, we're in blue until we're not in blue. So the price could just do this ugly, which is most likely the scenario. So today, just because it's a weird day, we're gonna say build in magenta, break blue, and then and I want to say build in purple and break orange. All right, so build in magenta, break blue, or build in purple and break orange. I'm not a huge fan of orange, but that's all we got. Not a huge fan of orange, but this is what we got. All right, so the setups. Build in magenta, break blue, or build in purple and break orange. So if the setup was to build in purple, and then break of orange, you gotta measure your risk to reward here, right? So if your break of orange is at 82.17, but you know your resistance is at 82.28, you gotta measure your risk to reward here, okay? This is where you gotta measure your risk to reward. You know where the liquidity is. What you don't know is that if there's a big order for puts right here. You don't know. So you'll find out whenever it breaks, retests, and rejects. But if the price follows this path, you gotta donate my brain to science. But we do know that there's a lot of liquidity here, right? So look at the liquidity. You see, look at the candle. Look what's happening as soon as it gets to our green. You see, you see the liquidity, right? You're literally seeing the market settle out the orders. Now it's trying to figure out. Now the market's saying, okay, I have X amount of calls and I have X amount of puts. Now they're trying to see who's gonna win. They're trying to see what orders need to be filled next. So if it starts going higher, above green with a retest, then most likely we got to fill above at 83 or 83.50, right? That's where the next, most likely, where the next level of liquidity is, because it's a nice round number. So you got to allow that thing to happen. Whatever I'm saying, you got to allow it to happen. The reason why you got to allow it to happen is because, like I said, we don't know if there's $500 million on puts on this green, but we do see the hesitation. We do see the stutter. This is why I'm telling you, level by level, if it goes past that level, great, but preserve your winnings. Don't let them take it away from you. The home runs are going to come. I'm telling you, the home runs will come. If you stick to the strategy, eventually you'll just see the candles start to stack and you won't even have to worry about really putting a stop loss. It's just mainly a take profit at that point. So look, this is why we gotta let the thing happen. So purple is our warning. Orange should be our confirmation. I don't want to use the term confirmation, but you know, the nudge. So let it happen. Just let it happen. Don't front run it. When I'm saying front run, I mean, you know, trying to get in before you know orange has broken, or before you know green has broken, or before a break, retest, and reject. That's what I'm saying. And then if we do break this liquidity, we want to see a convincing break, like a nice strong candle, like liquidity broke and you see the floodgates. Oh, okay, hold on, my alert went off. Liquidity broke and you see the floodgates, boom, like momentum candle. Now look, you have to donate my brain to science, because before this happened, look at the flexion. Look at this. Who's doing this on the internet? Who is doing this? It's not happening. It doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. You gotta donate my brain to science. We knew exactly where it was gonna go. We knew exactly where maybe I'm off by 10 or a couple cents here, but you know, I'm freehanding this. Give me, you know, I just freehanded this whole entire move. You gotta give me some grace. You see the liquidity on orange? Do you see how green and orange, how they both have liquidity? You see it? This is not an accident. This is on purpose. Now we're just waiting to see who wins the liquidity war. You don't have to sit here and guess. The market's gonna tell you. Look, we took our break of purple to our key level. Now you waiting for your next setup, or you're still holding because you know something. The strategy is very simple. Let's see if we can break. You know, orange and green need to break. They just have to break. Otherwise, we're just still inside of blue. So now that you know exactly what to expect, you know, everything, now you are in control. You're going to control your risks. You're going to control how much money you're going to collect because you see the levels. So Discord, look at your 5-minute chart, right? You see where your purple is, your highlighted purple. It should be along with blue. Under normal circumstance, when this, I'll say green, whenever green, if green breaks, normal circumstance, it should be a momentum candle, like a real strong candle like that. And then maybe some retracement candles and then push off. Normal conditions. These conditions, you see what's happening. You see we're in blue, right? A slow, annoying grind. We already identified this morning. We already knew, so no surprise here. Today's a perfect day to test our strategy out. For the non-believers, look, if we break blue, start to think the other way. That's only if we break blue. But essentially, you know, we can't be frustrated with this because we already knew what the price action was going to be. We already knew. This is all a part of the plan. And it's important that we go through, we experience market conditions like this, so we know how to react. Because we've seen it so many times where the market has great moves the first 30, 40 minutes, and then all of a sudden it just goes stagnant and dies off. We need to identify market conditions. This is part of your job, right? It's not just, oh, well, random voice said to buy call on the break of whatever. You need to, you know, use a little bit of critical thinking. But you don't know how to think, right? So that's why we're here, to learn how you need to think. And it takes time because we need to be introduced to those conditions so we can introduce the concept. You need to see the concept play out in real life for it to make sense to you. Just like how we did on the break of purple here, we let the full play out. We walked through it together, and we were able to every time when I say, well, to the Discord members, there's no reason to leave the trade. We're above the water. I'm really glad I got a chance to show you that today, to show you that you can't let 1 or 2, even 3 red candles scare you out. If you know we have a strategy that wins, and you know red candles are a part of the game, then why would the red candle make you change up your strategy, right? It shouldn't. And that goes to your confidence. One red candle shouldn't change up your strategy. That's your confidence. If you're taking, let's say you took this purple and you immediately start moving your stop, you know, you need to stop doing that. That's all I can say about that. You got to stop doing that. Now it looks like they're fading up and they want to break this, but you know, this could also be a liquidity grab. That's why I'm saying wait for the break and retest to protect against the liquidity grab. Now, if this does break and it just runs off without you and you didn't get in, you're going to be mad at me. But I'm trying to show you how to identify risk, so you know like what plays you're comfortable with. Also, look, you can kind of know if it's going to be a liquidity grab because you'll be like, look, are we oversold or overbought? Does it make sense, right? Does it make sense? Because if we're like overbought, and all of a sudden there's a liquidity grab, that, you know, it's most likely a stop hunt. Okay, so let's implement, or let's go over how to use the trading plan now, right? So on our trading plan, if we look at the, let me walk through it. Let me see, it might be the micro cup and handle. Yeah, the micro cup and handle. Let me do some analysis really quick. Okay, so you see it needs to break, retest, and reject off of 82.10. So that's how you read the trading plan, right? Because we like to go in on handles and right shoulders. Those are the trades we take: handles and right shoulders. So if our handle is on a break and retest of our pink, this is what you need to start to watch out for, right? Now you're starting to see how to use the trading plan, how they all work together. And this is how we're gonna, you know, under normal circumstances, when the price action is normal and you know, we know that it's not gonna stall out. Watch. You'll see. It just takes time. You're going to be just as good as me, if not better. You're going to be better than me because you're going to learn everything advanced. It took me however long it took me to learn it to teach you. But now you're getting all the information instantly. So you're going to be able to apply the concepts way faster than I was. Now the only thing you're going to have to work on is your emotion. That's the only thing you're going to have to work on. But well, that's the hardest part, right? That's the hardest part. Because that's the intangible thing that you can't just turn off and on. That's the hard part. You know, and it especially hurts when you know you're fighting yourself. Okay, let's see what we got. Man, the slow price action. It's fine, we expected it, right? This is what we wanted, actually. We need to experience these days in the market to know how to react, to know how long we need to let these things play out. This is a great experience we're getting right now. Here's our second bite at the apple, right? Second bite at the apple. You're gonna hear me say that a lot because I think often we think price is gonna touch and just turn right back around, and it's very rare that price touches the level and turns right back around. Very rare. Okay. Yep, go ahead and donate my brain to science because, okay, listen, to the new member, I believe it's Mr. I don't want to use your name on the internet just in case you don't want me to, but new member, beginning with a C. I don't know if you can tell, but you see this flexion point here? You see how I called this way before any of this happened? We got something special here, okay? We got something very unique here. There's no one else on the internet doing this, what I just did. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Not to the precision. It just doesn't exist. So this is what you need to ask yourself. Is this strategy something I can sustain? You don't have to figure it out all. You don't have to figure it all out right now. You know, the market's not going anywhere. But everything that we said was going to happen has happened to perfection. Look at the money. Look at the money that's been printed on Green Ranger. So look, if you took this Green Ranger or this Green Ranger, you're welcome. This is a win, right? This is a win. Now, if you're looking for the break and retest, then you're waiting for the break and retest on the 30. But if you're chasing this on the 30, you're chasing it, right? So our Pink Ranger is winning. This Pink Ranger is actually a winner because it went from 82.10 to 82.53 right now. So this is a winner. Look at the money we just printed. There it is. There it is. Look at the money. All we had to do was stick to our strategy and we had to be patient. That's all we had to do. The break of orange. I told you the break of orange. Build in purple, break of orange. Look at the money. I even highlighted green to tell you, here's your calls up here. Okay. I did my job today. I did my job. And we knew it was going to be slow, but I told you. I'm going to show you how we can still extract even little moves, even little tiny moves, how we can make this a sustainable thing for ourselves. I told you we were going to do it. Look at the precision. How long ago did I... Come on now. New guy. Don't tell me this isn't... Okay. That's all I got to say. I don't need... It's all done live and in real time in front of your face. We just need to be patient. You know, the market, it rewards the people who are patient. Because it's a battle of who's gonna fold. Who's gonna fold? That's all it is. I'll be right back. I'm going to circulate some blood from the... Okay, really quick, just for the new people. Do you see how... I don't know how long ago. I don't know how long ago it was. Maybe half hour ago, 45 minutes ago. I identified the setups, right? I told you it's going to be either to build in purple and break blue. Excuse me. Build in magenta and break blue, or build in purple and break orange. That happened. Build in purple, break orange for the calls, right? And if that wasn't good enough for you, then you had green. So here, let's recap. Let's recap. We had our, if you follow the strategy, If you follow the strategy to perfection, your first call entry was here, right? This is your call entry. You never went below the water, right? Remember from last week, or you never went below the water. Look at the money from the entry. This is 2 full points on a very slow moving day. This is 2 full points on a very slow day. Now you're telling me this isn't sustainable? YouTube is telling me that this is unreliable claims. Okay. Unreliable claim. It's so unreliable that it happens every day. All right, YouTube, I got you. Somehow they're shadow banning me. They're shadow banning me, and since February 3rd, I've only showed people how to make money. But look, it wasn't pretty. Especially around here, right? Around here, we didn't like it. But I knew I had to step in and let you guys know, hey, it's okay. Our stop loss should be way over here at 80.50. This is where our stop loss should be. Maybe you can get away with this conservative one right here at 80.91, around this area. But either way, if you were to follow the strategy, it's just a winner. It doesn't have to win every time. It's not going to win every time. I can tell you that right now. It's not going to win every time. But it wins enough to make us sustainable. Profitable and sustainable. That's what it does. This was our entry right here on the break of this purple. If that wasn't good enough for you, then look, here's another entry. Where was it? Right here on this green. And if that wasn't good enough for you, here's another entry. Right here on this orange. Oh wait, and if that one wasn't good enough for you, here's another entry. Right here on this green. And then don't overstay your welcome, right? What did I say the liquidity is probably going to be at? Around 83 or 82.50, right? The round numbers. Everything that we said was going to happen has happened. Everything. There's no surprise here. So do you understand what I'm saying? If this happens, then our action is to do this, whatever that is. If this happens, then we do that, whatever that is. You need to learn to trade like a robot. So red candles don't scare you and you keep eating up your account because you see a red candle. You got to stop doing that, because I know that's what's happening. And it's because you're not willing to be wrong once. So in this game, in this strategy that I developed, it's okay to be wrong once. If you're wrong twice in a row, call it a day. This is not the day. If you're wrong once, it's okay. Stick with it. Don't over leverage. If you're wrong twice, that's when you call it a day. But it's very hard to be wrong twice in a row. Very hard. Very hard. I'm gonna clean up the chart. Today's been exactly as we knew it would be. Right? Today's been actually perfect. All of our plays worked out. I know it took me a little bit to find orange, but that's what it is. There's nothing I can do. I knew it was gonna happen, but that's what it is. There's nothing I can do about that. We have to be patient, and it's only been hour and a half. So hour and a half it took. It is what it is. Stop being greedy. Anyways, I'm gonna let this play out a little bit. I'm gonna get up, walk around. I'm gonna circulate some blood. I'm really glad today happened. This was a nice flex in front of the new guy. I'm just kidding. No, but it just shows, right? It just shows that I've spent time and effort into this strategy. It's not just, vibes. That there's actually math behind it. There's no vibes here. You understand? So I'm gonna walk around for a bit. New guy, I'm gonna let this. Especially this one right here. I'm gonna let this. Woo! Come on now. Who's doing this on the internet? No one's doing this on the internet. Not with that precision. So I'll give you time to think about it today, to make your decision if you want to join the family. But what I will caution you, my friend, is to, when you're starting, you're gonna see probably immediate wins, immediate gains. Don't over leverage yourself thinking, oh damn, I just found the infinite money glitch. Okay? Do not, because that's not what I'm offering. First of all, that's not what I'm offering. Take your time. I have actually a leveling system in one of the lessons. It should be a leveling system, how to level the account. Follow that. That strategy, that system has been proven mathematically. So follow that system that I put together, because it mathematically has to work. I can't say it has to because they're gonna ban me, but it should work in theory. We've tested the theory since February 3rd and it's working, just so you know. You don't have to believe me. Look for yourself. The information's on the internet. It's posted live. I do it all live in real time. You can't make up these results. You can't. It just, everyone saw that before this happened. I drew exactly what was going to happen, and I told you, if we get below this level, think the other way. That never happened, right? I'm giving you the confidence to stay in your trades. Stay in your trade. You keep thinking that the price is just going to randomly turn around without taking out liquidity. It has to take out liquidity. Stop thinking that you're late on the play. Stop thinking that, oh, well, I went in on a play and now the market's going to turn around just because it's me. You got to stop that. You got to. All that weird thinking is holding you back. Now look, up here, this is thin liquidity. Why? So thin liquidity doesn't mean it's not going to run, but thin liquidity means that we didn't form enough purple for me, right? I want to see more purple here. And deep structure versus thin structure, that's also on one of our lessons, right? So thin liquidity structure is going to be a short turnaround. Deep liquidity is going to be like that, right? So I'm not a big fan of thin liquidity, especially in the environment we're in today, where it's just kind of choppy and annoyingly going in a direction. So normally, I probably would. I would be more confident taking a trade on the break of this orange, but because I know we're in between orange and green, I know a lot of liquidity is on green. We need to break the liquidity. That's what I'm trying to say. I want to see a firm break, retest, and reject. I need to know that, what is this? 82.28 is support. I need to know that this is support. And then I want to see this being support, and I want to see orange being broken at the same time. I would prefer some more movement down purple. To be honest, right here, this is kind of a little bit of thin liquidity too. A little bit. Barely. It was barely enough for me. It had to do this. It had to do that for me to even draw it. So this was like the very bare minimum that I would take a retracement thin liquidity pullback. So meaning for the bolt up, right? For the bolt up, if I'm looking for the retrace on the bolt, this is the threshold that I'm comfortable with on a pullback. Something short like this, I'm not too comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable. I know this is built up liquidity. This, not enough For me, right? You need to come up with your own style. I'm telling you what it is for me. And trust me, I get it wrong all the time. I think Friday, I was like, look, was it Friday? Or last trading session, I was like, look, I'm not feeling it, I'm not gonna trade. Ended up being, I missed out on crazy money. Crazy money. I had that day, oh man, I was wrecked in my brain because I felt so, the FOMO that I had that day when I let, I don't even know how many points, like 10 points go by for no reason. Absolutely no reason, just me being firm on my conviction. I was like, I'll show them. Let me show them how to stand firm on business, right? As the kids say, I stood firm on business. Oh man, I got the business that day. Okay, let's take a recap, because if you rewind the tape, I don't know how long ago, but you need to rewind the tape. I told you that the way the trading plan works, we literally just went over this. Look, new guy, look, we just went over this. I told you the way the trading plan works is, now what we want to expect is look for the break of this pink, right? 82.10. We want to look for a retest and reject. What do you think happened between 10:30 and the 11 candle, right? Between the 10:30 candle, it went up to 82.81. It retested 82.10 and rejected off of 82.10. I literally said that this would happen. This is how you use your trading plan. Done. It's done. I actually said that this was going to happen, and it happened. I told you what to look out for. I told you the exact color that was happening on. None of this is a surprise. I literally just went over this. I literally just went over how to read the trading plan, how to make it work for you, how we use the 30-minute, the 5-minute, and the 1-minute. Everything happened perfect. And if you're a little confused, if I'm going too fast or it doesn't make sense, you got to join the Discord. Send me an email, LiveSPYTrading@gmail.com. I'm going to get you sorted out. Everything we've done today, it's all worked. It's all been 100%. There's nothing that hasn't worked. The only thing that would hold anybody back is if your little greasy ass fingers touch the goddamn sell button. Look at the money on orange. Look at orange. I told you I didn't like it. It doesn't, I don't have to like it. You need to follow the strategy. Don't worry about what I think. Break of purple, break of orange, winner. Build in purple, break of orange, winner. I know I said, thin liquidity. What do I know, right? The rules are the rules. Don't go off of my bias. That's what I'm telling you. You need to form your own. Don't go off of me, because our bank accounts, I promise you, they're set up different. It doesn't even matter that this broke orange, because I actually said it over here on the 30. I said, look for the break and retest. This is how you read the trading plan. Everything happened to perfection. Everything. Look at the money. Look at the money on the break retest of green. Did I not tell you to look for support forming on green and then the break of orange? Everything I said happened. Look at the money that just got printed. Look at the money. There it is. There it is. Today was an excellent day for research and development. Now you see, stop being afraid. The fear is holding you back. You're gonna take a loss. Welcome to day trading. Welcome. I'll be your tour guide. Buckle up. The loss is a part of the game. Sometimes it's fine to take the loss because it only highlights our entries. We are 100% today. Here, we're gonna, don't tell me I didn't do break and retest of this green. I don't even know how long ago I did the break and retest of this green. Rewind the tape. This morning I had this on here. That's exactly what happened. I even highlighted it with a thick, there's nothing more I can do. There's absolutely nothing more I can do. I've done my job today. I've done my job. We showed up. Poppy. Why do you guys call me Poppy? Oh my God, it's so weird. Look, when was our original entry? When was our first call out? Here at 81.20. Look what it's at now. 82.77. Look, I've done my job, right? And let's say you didn't take this one. Let's say you didn't. No excuse on orange. Let's say you didn't take this one. No excuse on green. Let's say you didn't take this one. No excuse on this green. Let's say you didn't take this one. No excuse on this orange. Right? How many opportunities did I give you to make a play where you didn't even have to stress? Where it was stress-free. You didn't even need to think, because everything that needed to happen in the if-then statement happened, right? So if we break above green, retest, form support, break orange, then you take a call, right? Everything happened to perfection. Everything. But look, just because today was like this, every day is not going to be like this, right? You know, I get these paths maybe 80% of the time. It's probably a little more, but I'll be humble. You know, maybe 80% of the time, I get these paths right. Look at the money that was printed. There it is. There's nothing more I need to do. There's nothing more I need to do. Go ahead, donate my brain to science. I told you that this would happen. If this happens, donate my brain to science. There it is. There's nothing more I can do. I've done my job. If this isn't impressive to you, to make you say, hey, look, I've wasted $100 before. Maybe this is not a waste of $100 to join this Discord. You know, that probably makes sense at this point. If everything you saw today didn't convince you, it's never going to happen for you. I'm just telling you right now, if actual proof of how to make sustainable, safe money, if you weren't convinced today, then this is not for you. Day trading is not for you. Facts, data, and science is not for you. Okay? And there's still going to be people sitting on the sidelines that are thinking, nope, I can do it off of YouTube. I can do it off of YouTube. Okay, you're shortchanging yourself. Who plays themselves like that? You're playing yourself, right? Who does that to themselves? All right, look, if this wants to head down, I'm still firm on this blue, right? I know blue has liquidity. So look for the break of blue. And not this blue, it's gonna have to be this blue down here, right? Now you're saying, well, how the hell does he know? Watch. Watch. It may not happen today, but this is where it has to be, right? I just know. You'll learn too. It has to be over here on this blue. Otherwise, look at the trading plan that I told you that would happen. The micro cup and handle with the break, retest, and reject of pink. The pink ranger's a winner. Listen, pink rangers are 100%. If you are on YouTube and you're trying to make day trading a thing, and you've been having a hard go at it, right? Listen, here's some data and statistics for you. You don't have to believe me. You can check it for free. On my 30-minute chart, I make something called the pink ranger. I show the top and bottom end of the pink. These ranges have been 100%. These have not lost. And it's not me bragging. I'm just giving you the facts, right? If you want, I can lie, but I'm not going to. These pink ranges are 100%. Only Discord members have access to this, to my 100% call outs. And I'm only saying 100% call out because that's just what it is, right? Not because I labeled it 100% call out. It just worked out like that. If it didn't, then I'd be like, oh, okay, only Discord members have access to my 87% win rate. But either way, what I'm saying is this: only Discord members have that. You don't even need to sit here and trade all day. All you need to do is look at where the levels are, look at your trading plan, and place your orders based on the trading plan. You don't actually have to sit here and trade all day to be a winner. Look, we just went over this. I told you how to use the trading plan. This is the perfect. Today was an excellent day. We needed today. We absolutely needed today. And if this isn't proof for you, and if you think you think you got it all figured out, you can do it on your own, good luck. Good luck. Good luck. And I sincerely mean that. I wish you luck. Because this is not, it's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. And if you've acquired the skill, good for you. But if you're hungry for it, this is why we're here. If you're hungry to learn how to make sustainable, profitable income, and in my opinion, it's stress-free. Why is it stress-free? Because I have a set of rules. And as long as I follow those rules, you know, the data and statistics prove that it's gonna work out for me. So give me one brief moment. I'm going to circulate some blood and I'll be right back. Don't overtrade. Really quick before I head off. I'm not gonna head off, I'm just gonna take a break. Really quick, for everyone that decided to paper trade today, remember the results, right? Remember the results. And let's say the next trading day starts and you implement the strategy from today. You're like, okay, I'm gonna implement it today, and it goes against you. That's not the universe trying to tell you something, right? So stop trying to. We have this, like, what is it? Superstition, stuff like that. You got to get that out of your head. You got to get that out of your head. Stick to the strategy. The data shows that it works. Okay, I'll be right back. Don't overtrade. We had a great day today. I'm not gonna stand here too much longer. We're just in blue grinding up. So give me a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's see what we got. Took a little break. Need to circulate my blood. Okay, yeah, so we're still in blue, just grinding up blue. Which again, we expected this, right? I literally drew this morning like a little ugly grind up like this, so we knew this was gonna happen. Okay, so from here, if you're gonna keep trading from this point here, I might be okay with the puts underneath this this initial blue. So yeah, we're gonna say puts underneath this blue. I was gonna try to make it a little more. I want to make this red, but it's not ready yet. I want to make 81, 87 red, but it's not ready yet. So our red ranger needs to be at 81.49. So I'm not gonna try to get ahead of it. I'm gonna let I'll let the market do what it's gonna do. All right, on the 5 minute, let's see if it wants to test the bottom of our liquidity now. All right, so look, this is what we gotta look out for. All right, we're in blue until we're not in blue, first of all. And then second of all, there is a lick box in this area right here. So your safety puts are going to be somewhere underneath here. This is still valid. This is still valid. I was trying to get you a little earlier, but I don't think it's going to be safe inside here. So inside here, you know what the deal is. Inside this thin red and green, you know what the deal is. Let's see if this is gonna be a. Let's see if we form another magenta. Maybe not. Let's see if we get something like that. Okay, let's see if it plays out. If not, then it's going to be this. When we get closer to this, I can be a little more precise. I'm trying to be a little, not precise, but I can be a little more accurate. All right, so let's see which one plays out. Break of blue might be a break and retest, right? It might be this, watch. So be careful with blue, okay? Look, Discord. All right, listen. Before you start thinking about puts, remember, we're in the uptrend. You don't want to fight the trend. You'll know the trend is over once we get below minimum this red. But if you want to trigger, right? A trigger is going to be it has to do this. It has to we need to take out this liquidity box here. Okay, so that's the answer. Their puts, it has to do this. Now this structure is going to break. I think if green forms support, then start thinking the other way. You'll know we rejected underneath this green to form this shoulder here. Once we get underneath this green here, right? So you'll know that this is a rejection once we get underneath this green. We want to be underneath green and underneath blue. But again, if you're in here, if you're in this range, you know what you're dealing with, right? You got to get in and get out. If your safety is going to be somewhere under here, your safety is going to be somewhere above here. So look, if either one of these play out exactly on this path, you're going to have to go take my brain back from the science lab and redonate it to science. If any of this happens, we're gonna have to redonate my brain to science. Let's see if we get it to form. You see how the market's stuck between this liquidity? It's stuck between purple, blue, and magenta. So we're stuck here, right? There's no trade here. You're in the middle of the water. We got to figure out which direction the market wants to head. I believe we have a liquidity zone here, and I believe there's one here as well. Okay, now listen. Technically, if you took the break of this orange, you got to protect your trade. Technically, it's this trade up here. It's the break of this orange. Here's what you're contending with on the break of this orange here, right? Let me make sure everyone's paying attention. Okay, listen. On the break of this orange here, now you got to measure risk to reward at high a day. So measure risk to reward from break of orange to high a day. Remember, I told you, we're in blue until we're not in blue, right? We're just doing this. Remember I drew this exactly like this? It's all happening. Everything, it's all happening 100%. Nothing has not happened yet. You understand now, it's a set of if-then statements. If the price does this, then I do that. Very simple. You gotta protect your trade in the break of this orange, even though this one is the actual break. So you can expect up here, because if we only take right shoulders and handles, then up here you can expect what? A dance, right? Expect a dance either above or below. Expect the dance either here or here. But look, if it bounces off of blue and then hits orange, you have to donate my brain to science. You have to retake it from science from this one here and redonate my brain. Look, and YouTube calls this unreliable claims. It's unreliable that I knew that the price would hit blue and retrace back up to orange. That's unreliable, according to YouTube. Okay, so now we need to assess, right? Now we need to assess our play. We need to see if, watch. We need to see if this is gonna happen here, or if this is gonna happen here. So look, here, let me clean up the chart just a bit. So now this is what we're looking for. This is what we want to see for our call entries. Something like this, right? Either this one or this one. And our puts, we know safety somewhere here. We're going to start thinking about puts when we break this blue. So we have our marching orders. We know what to expect. We know what we're looking for. Because essentially we want to see, watch. We want to see if this is happening here. You see it? Very, very simple. Oh man. All right, let's see what happens. Don't front run it. Wait for whatever needs to happen, right? So we need to break, close. Not just a wick, a break and close, right? Because we know the liquidity. We know exactly where it is. and we identified this liquidity before it even showed up. You think that's an accident that it's wicking right here? Of course not. Come on now. It's not an accident. That's on purpose. So now that you know this, stress-free. It's stress-free from here. Very, very simple. Now let whatever's gonna happen, let it happen. You have your if-then statements. If this, then that. Simple. Now we're just gonna wait. Recap, just in case everyone hasn't noticed, you have to rewind the tape. Every time that I said, if the price does this, this is going to be the next move. Every single time. If the price does that, this is going to be the next move. So rewind the tape. This is all recorded for you. You don't have to guess. We know exactly what's going to happen, what needs to happen. And guess what? If it doesn't work that one time, oh well. It doesn't mean you throw away the whole strategy. It means you wait for your next setup. But look, one of these is going to happen. One of these things is going to happen. And if it doesn't, guess what? Then you just saved yourself from getting caught in chop. Stress-free, right? Stress-free. One of those plays is going to happen. Now, how you play it, that's on you. I don't control your little greasy fingers. You see what's happening, right? Rejection off the top of blue. So it's calls on bottom of blue, puts on the top of blue. Or you can go puts on the top of what is this? Orange. You see what's happening, right? We want to see if we're between green and orange, or if we're still between blue and orange now. So if we break green, now we got to wait for blue. Now when we break blue, then we're going to start thinking the other way. If we're below blue and below this green, then we're going to start thinking the other way. Then we're going to start looking for this liquidity box to be taken out, right? But look, here's what we got to look out for. Let's say the price gets up to here at this point. What we have to look out for, which is why we want to wait for a BRR, we have to look out for the liquidity grab before they push up. So how do you protect against that? You protect against that with a break, a retest, and a reject. Okay? There you go. Now you know. Now, if it breaks blue and just runs without you, my bad. My bad. Nothing we can do about it. Watch, one of these things is going to happen. How you play it, that's on you. Just don't front run it. Be patient. You see how we wanted to see if we're going to reject inside of green and orange, or are we going to go between green and blue? So let's see if we stay between green and orange, right? This should give us some indication, unless they're going to liquidity grab, but that's all we can go off of, right? The data. I literally just said we want to see if we're going to reject off of green or blue, right? So let's see where they form the liquidity. Now remember, we're half day, we're getting late in the day. Don't overstay your welcome in any direction. You see what the price action is, right? You see how, if you're taking a trade, you're gonna have to hold, and it's gonna be uncomfortable. all of the trades have been uncomfortable. All of them. That's the market. This is the environment we're in. You have to recognize the environment we are in so you know how to trade. You know when to let it run, or you know when to be very attentive to your trade. Again, watch out for the wick. If it breaks orange, watch out for the wick for the stop hunt to go back to green. I'm not saying it is going to happen. I'm saying to not front run. Don't let the wick fool you. Even if they wick way up here, if it's still got 30 seconds on the candle, you know, it's very possible they can still push it back down. So I'm just saying don't front run. That's what I'm trying to get across to you. Now look, we want to know about that microstructure, right? Is the microstructure going to do this right here? Are we doing this? You see the little cup and handle? Maybe. Maybe. You got to learn how to identify this stuff. Okay, I'll be right back. Don't overtrade. I know. Measure your risk to reward. Measure your risk to reward. You don't want to get caught with your pants down. That's not always a good idea. Sometimes it sounds like a good idea. Like, wonder what happens if I get caught with my pants down. This is not that time. This is not that time. Keep your pants up. See the wick? Don't let the wick fool you. Someone said, don't lose your Uber Eats job. See, they know where the liquidity is. They know exactly where it's at. And they know what you're thinking. They know exactly what you're thinking. So you should be thinking like, are they trying to trick me into buying a call right now so they can pull the rug out and dump? So your safety is going to be allowing 82.93 to form support. See, this is good. We want the market to wedge like this. This is what we want. This compression, they're coiling up, right? It's like a snake. They're coiling up, ready for the strike. We just don't know which way it's going to strike yet, right? Because we're at the top of this liquidity box, which is also a high a day. So are they going to grab liquidity to push it down? Are they just going to burn out the contracts and go sideways? We'll know once we get to a certain level, right? Once we break, retest, reject, we'll know. Or once we break this blue, make this green some type of resistance. That's what it has to be. And if it's not like this, then guess what? You didn't get caught in chop. And then you can thank me later. The Discord should be fully aware of puts, right? We have our put line. So Discord's fully aware of puts. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. See if we can at least get to high a day. Don't think that'll give us quite our 30 cents, but I know you want to get the best price possible, but you got to be patient. What are we? Okay, that candle closed. Now let's see if they liquidity grab and flush, or if they if the bulls won and then we push up. About to find out. If you took orange, you got to protect your trade because we're at high a day. See, look, we're still in the liquidity box. Watch, I'm gonna slide it over a little bit. We're still technically in this liquidity box, right? So let the liquidity break. So it's not just because some random voice on the internet said on the break of, it has to make sense, right? So that's why I marked out high a day, so you can risk to reward. Measure your risk to reward. Now we knew orange would take us to high a day. Now we got to see how much more you can get out of it. Remember, short day today. Don't overstay your welcome. look, let's break this down. So our entry was, or should be, build in purple, break orange, right? But we need to take some factors into consideration. Number one, our orange and our high a day, they're right next to each other. So you had to measure your risk to reward here. It doesn't mean the play is over. It just means you have to take factors into consideration before you take a trade. That's what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. So maybe at this point here, if you want to wait for your weak bear cycle, that'd probably be a better idea. If you need to know what a weak bear cycle is, you got to send me an email, LiveSPYTrading@gmail.com. Get you sorted. But considering we know what the price action is like today, you kind of know how you need to approach your trades today, right? Think of how all the other trades have been. So until that has changed, we got to, stay with the same market environment. We'll know it's changed when the price starts moving, when the candles start stacking on top of each other and not engulfing within, inside of each other. Yeah, because it's low volume, not a lot of people are trading, so it's taking a while for the market to get these orders settled. Now let me give you some of my thought process. I do like the deep liquidity, right? I do like the deep purple. I do like the microstructure. I do like all that, right? The microstructure, the little, here, let me show you what I'm talking about. The microstructure I'm talking about, I do like that, right? We identified this a long time ago. Here's what's holding us up. We're at high a day. The liquidity's here. We need to break, retest, and reject. So this is what we're contending with here, okay? It needs to like have a convincing, strong bull candle, like a green candle, to break it. You see how it's struggling here, right? We need a strong green candle to break it. We're still in the lick box. We're still in this lick box, right? So this micro played out. Now we need to wait for a break, a retest, and reject above 82.93. Remember that. I told you that was what we're looking for. It's not just the break of, because we're up against big liquidity. See how I'm identifying the risks for you? Now that doesn't mean that orange is out, right? That doesn't mean that. It could just be secondary liquidity building. So we're going to watch out for the secondary liquidity build. See, look, we're still in this liquidity box. There's nothing to, if you're trading inside of here, you're okay with the price. Okay, see this rejection on orange here. So it's a good thing we didn't get caught by secondary liquidity, right? We identified, look, our risk to reward is small. Small risk to reward from orange to white. I'm really glad we had today. Today has been a very excellent day as far as learning our strategy. Today's been very, very pretty textbook. I'm going to spend another few minutes on here and I'll call it, but we'll do this from this point here. Okay, if we get to this red, start looking at puts. If we get below this red and below this blue, we're gonna look for our entry on puts. But we're still in this liquidity box. We're still in this liquidity box. Because look, we're still above the water, right? So this is still in play because we're above the water. Now, if we get below this red, the structure is probably going to break and we probably need to start looking the other way. Or we're in chop. Either way is going to help us to know. So let's see if the secondary liquidity here, let me get rid of this one. Let's see if secondary liquidity here held all the liquidity. We're gonna see, right? We need to break orange, we need to break green and break the lick box. All that needs to happen. Let's see what happens. I'm still here. I got another few minutes. I just want to see what happens on this orange. So I'm just going to be here quietly in the background. I want to see if the break of this orange can get us above the green. The liquidity's right here. We're at the liquidity. It keeps rejecting. So we need to see a strong candle above green. If we don't get a strong break and retest, then don't even worry about calls. All right, let's see if this week actually didn't finish the cycle yet. We want to see if we're going to form a weak bear cycle here. A weak bear cycle to give us a push up above green for our calls. All right, let's see if that's the weak bear. We got to break green like convincingly. It can't just be a wick. We got to break it convincingly. Like we break it, you know, by like 20 cents and then still got 30 seconds on the candle. Let's see. Okay. Run. Okay. Oh man, see I expected that one to go green. All right. Oh, still got some time. Let's see. $30 seconds on this candle. Man, I expected that one to shoot. Still got 25 seconds on the candle. This is why you don't trade with bias. I fully expected this candle to go. Still 10 seconds. I'd like it to close above. This is our range, right? Green and red. You see it. Green and red. If it wants to shoot up, it needs to break, like a convincing break. Not, oh, maybe it's gonna break and retest. It needs to be very convincing. Like no doubt in your mind. All right, let's see what we got. Oh man, come on. Why are they playing with us like that? We need to close above that green line. Okay. Okay. $40 on the candle. Got time. Got time to push it up and grab that liquidity. Stop everybody out. So all the stops on puts, you see where the stops are, right? Right above this liquidity box. Right above this liquidity box. That's where all the stops on puts are. So when they get stopped out, hopefully the price does what it should do. And we're going to see if all the calls are on this 81, 87. So we want them to get stopped out here for puts or stopped out here for calls. So you see the liquidity box, right? This is our range. If you're in this, if you're messing around in here, that's on you. You know something I don't. Even if we did get all the way down to red, I don't even know if the market has a sentiment to dump. It's the holiday. I don't think they're gonna try to make big moves like that on a holiday. Not enough people participating to make moves. So on a regular day, our entries would be on a break retest of green. Like this, or whenever price gets like this. This would be our entry for puts, and this would be our entry for calls on a normal day. Okay, I'm going to take this time and do some admin. I'm going to borrow the charts for a second. Give me one moment. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oh, I didn't even, I was on, thought I muted my mic the whole time, but I didn't. Okay. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here soon. I think the market's run its course for me today. Here's an important takeaway from today. It's not just the break of whatever, right? There's more to it. It has to make sense. We can't be oversold and buying calls at the very top, or overbought and buying calls at the top, right? That doesn't make any sense. It has to make sense. That's why we want a BRR, a break and retest. Now look, if this plays out, then it's gonna be, watch, a head, a shoulder, and a shoulder. So watch out for that. So see all the rejection wicks on green, and then we have rejection underneath orange. So now let's look to see what happens on blue. My blue might be off by a little bit, but I can't change it now or else it's gonna look weird. So I'm just gonna be patient. I want to see like this or like this. That's the answer. Otherwise, you're stuck in the liquidity box that we already identified. So that's the answer. Set your alerts. All right, I'm gonna spend another maybe 4 minutes and then I'm gonna call it. Okay, let's see what happens on the break of this blue, or if the blue breaks. We know we got a lot of liquidity built up in blue. Expect the dance here if it wants to head out. When we get to blue, we want to look for a quick motion. We want to look for a quick down, up, down. Look, you want to be above this liquidity box and above green and below the liquidity box and below red. Minutes left. Contract's about to just, yeah. It is what it is. Maybe last 10-minute play is gonna get some movement, but other than that, I'd probably stay away while we're in this range. We have to know that this liquidity has been taken out. We see it, right? You see liquidity box here, liquidity box here. It has to be taken out. Now, would it be great to get it from here and ride it all the way up if it goes up? Sure, but we don't know. So we need to wait for a break and retest. That's the answer. That is the answer. I think on a normal day, that break of blue would have been a really good setup for puts on a normal day. Okay, nothing's changed. So we still want to be below red, right? Underneath blue and underneath red. Ideally, we like to see a break and retest of the red. So if you took blue, you got to protect your trade. You got to protect your trade because you're fighting the trend. That's why our optimal entry is going to be a break and retest underneath the red. If you're trading in here, you know that's your risk you're willing to take. All right, we need to have a weak bull cycle while inside of orange. If we break orange, think the other way. Do you see why we needed to be underneath red? It's not just blue. We also needed to be underneath red. Not just one of them, right? It had to be above orange and above green, or below blue and below red. It had to be both of those things because we're still in the liquidity box. You see? We're still in the liquidity box. So you don't know if there's a whole bunch of orders at the bottom to push it up or if there's a whole bunch of orders in the top to push it down. So you have to wait until the liquidity breaks. So ideally, it should have been blue, this blue. But look, let's see if they just did a stop hunt right here to continue down. We're gonna see. Okay, now protect your trade on the break of blue. Now you protect your trade on the break of blue. Trade protected now, right? So you enter on blue, you put your stop above the last high, and you let your winner win. Easy. Easy. Good trade. Good trade. Okay. So we did pretty good on the break of this blue, right? So if you break the blue, you put your stop above the last high, and then, you know, hopefully you collected as much as you could. It's still in the play actually, but the break of blue, also a winner. Even in a very tight range, we can still get something out of the market. It's up to you to be disciplined, to not let them take it away. Or to stick your course, stay the strategy. Look at the money. Look at the money. From blue, look where it is now. I highlighted it. Entry puts on blue. You survive the retracement. Here's the winner. Look at the money we just printed. Look, here's our blue entry. Look at all the money. From blue, 82.27. It got all the way down to 81.88. That's a great move. This is good money. The hard part was holding through this retracement. That was the hard part. But if you're following your strategy, the entry and exit strategy, we're 100% for today. We are 100% for today. That's a pretty good win rate. Pretty good win rate. And even though people hear that win rate, they're still going to be sitting on the sidelines, not sending me any email. They don't want to join the Discord. They're going to shortchange themselves and expect to make it in the stock market. Amazing. It's amazing how people think they're going to take the shortcut. They can shortchange themselves, be cheap. You're going to be cheap and shortchange yourself. You're trying to invest in your future and you're going to be cheap on your own future. That's insane. But you know what? That's how people are. And it's not for everybody. Making consistent money every day is not for everybody. Some people like to struggle. Some people need that struggle. They feel alive or good about themselves. Good luck. All right, I'm gonna let this play out. I'll be right back. Okay, YouTube, this has been my time. We had a pretty good day today. I'm going to recap some of the wins we had, or some of the plays we had for today. Our initial entry was on a call on purple right here. This was obviously a big winner. We had another entry on a call on the break of our orange, right over here. We had another entry on calls on the break of our orange, another entry on calls on the break of our orange, and then we had a put entry on blue. So this one's still winning. We had a pretty good day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 100% win plays. If you're interested in learning how to trade with us, send me an email, LiveSPYTrading@gmail.com. I'll get you sorted out. We did a lot of work today. If you made any money, or if you learned some insights, if I helped you at all, God's watching. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Spread goodwill. It's not going to harm you, and it's only going to help, and it's going to give you good luck. So hit the like button. Join the Discord. Send me an email, LiveSPYTrading@gmail.com. Get you sorted out. We're going to do it again Monday. Everyone, you have a good weekend. I hope you enjoyed your holiday. Goodbye. Have a good day. Wait. Before I go, I just wanted to show you. Look how valid this liquidity box is. Look how valid. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look how it worked. Look how it worked. Absolutely perfect. I told you, you gotta wait for this liquidity box to clear if you want some safety puts, and I even put where your puts would be. Look at the liquidity grab. This is not an accident. And then look where it went, exactly to orange. Exactly to orange. Listen, you're sitting on YouTube, you think this is an accident, you think, send me an email, stop being difficult. Why are you being difficult? You see that I have the skill. And you're sitting here watching because you want to obtain the skill, but you don't want to join the Discord. You're trying to shortchange yourself. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen like that. Quit shortchanging yourself. Stop being cheap on yourself. You buy cheap, you buy twice. Anyways, that's been my time. Everything we said that was going to happen today happened perfectly. Our trading plan is absolutely intact. Look at the trading plan. This was the trading plan. This was actually the trading plan. It was a cup, handle, up. Oh no, you know what? It was above. Hold on, let me redo it. Just so I'm accurate. It was like this. I started it from over here. So cup, handle, up. Because the retrace was above pink. So I know this is accurate. But either way, 100% perfect on the day. We did good work. If you want to learn how to trade with us, send me an email, LiveSPYTrading@gmail.com. I can sort it out. Monday, we're going to do it. If you send me an email today, you're going to get the whole weekend to go through the Discord, to get all the content, to absorb all the information, and maybe meet some friends for Monday. So YouTube has been a pleasure. I had a great day. So did you. I'll see you Monday. Have a good day. Goodbye.